Hi everyone, Letty here. Today I'm going to share with you a craft with me video where we use the November 2021 Club EP box to make project number 1, which is Trifold mini slimline cards. So again, this was November 2021 Echo Park Club EP. The collection is Happy Christmas by Cartabella. I just did the unboxing. I've prepped a few things off camera. I stamped some sentiments. You see them here. And then I've also cut apart the branding strips from the bottom of the 12x12s and all of the cut apart sheets as well, both the small ones and the large ones, which I have here, all the different sizes of cut aparts and those bottom of those like I said, 12x12 sheets. On the 6x6 paper pad, I've already cut them all out, removed the glue from the very top of the sheets, but I did leave the hole, you can see here, because sometimes I just cover that. So I went ahead and left it for now. If I don't need it, I'll take it off later. I have stamped some images, but I haven't had a chance to color them, so I'll be coloring them soon. But I have already prepped that. So I have some items prepped prior to my first project, the first project being the Trifold mini slimline folio card. So this is one where it is a mini slimline size, but it has 3 pockets where you can add in gift cards or ephemera or die cuts, whatever you want. You can put a little message right there on that side. You have so many little options, and the great thing about this is that it fits in a mini slimline envelope. So just a cute little mini slimline. These are the envelopes that I use. They're the 6 3/4 white envelopes from Dollar Tree. You get 40 of them for $1. And like I said, they fit perfectly in these. These are the self-seal. So the main item I'm using from the kit today is going to be the 6x6 paper pad. I'm going to take that out, push everything else aside. Now, each project is going to use 3.5 sheets of the 6x6 paper. You'll have 3 outer or large mats that are 3x6. You'll have 3 inner or medium mats that are 3x5. And then you'll have 3 smaller mats for those pockets that are 3x2. And I will have all those dimensions again in just a bit. So then you'll also need 1 8.5 by 11 solid color cardstock for each of your folios. I'm going to make 2 just as a heads up. So each one uses 3.5 sheets. I'm going to go ahead and pull out 7 sheets because I'm going to make 2 folios. Since you can make one with 3.5, I figured I would just go ahead and make 2 for the same amount of almost supplies and time that it would take me to make the one. I'm going to go ahead and get 2 out of it. So I've already pulled out my sheets. I have 7 here. So next, let's go ahead and cut the paper down. So I am using my Hobby Lobby, the Paper Studio guillotine trimmer. I'm basically going to just cut each of my 6x6 papers down to a true 6x6 size. So I am going to go ahead and take off that little top circle section. So I have my 6 sheets of 6x6. Each folio will use 3 large, 3 medium, and 3 small mats. And you can use the same pattern for the 3 pockets. Basically what we'll do is we'll cut each of our papers down to 3x6. So we're just going to cut them vertically 3x6. So from the top, look with the top up and down, we'll go ahead and cut it at 3 inches. And then you're going to go ahead and choose your cover. And then go ahead and decide which ones you want as your larger mats, your medium mats, and your pocket mats. You only need 1 sheet for the pocket, but you'll need 3 sheets for the inner and 3 for the outer. And like I said, make sure you decide which one you want as your cover. So again, you have 3 outer patterns and they're 3x6, so those we'll leave alone. Your medium or inner pattern, the one that's going to go on the inside, does need to be 3x5. So what we're going to do now is just go ahead and cut at 5 inches on the 6-inch side to take that down to 3x5, which will fit perfectly. You don't need to have so much paper in there since you're going to have the pocket to cover it. You notice here I forgot to do the snowflake. I'll come back to that in just a second. So the pocket, you're going to make 3 pockets from each of these panels of 3x6. So you're going to cut at 2 inches and then cut again at 2 inches on that 6-inch side. And 1 sheet or 1/2 will get you your 3 pockets for your 1 folio. So because I'm making 2, I'm cutting both sheets down to the 2x3 inches. Then you see here, I notice about the snowflake paper, so I'm cutting that final one down to 5x6, which was the inner one. So I'm just sorting my papers for each of the folios. Remember, 3 outer, 3 inner, 3 pockets. So you've got your 3 small pockets. They're 3x2 inches. Those are going to go on the inside. I have my 3 outer, which are going to go on the outside. Those are my larger ones, 3x6. And then I have the 3 medium ones, which are 3x5. And then you're just going to go ahead and put the paper aside because now we're going to go ahead and work with our base. So take out your 8.5 by 11. What you're going to do is you're going to put the paper in your paper trimmer on the 11-inch side, just like I have it here. So the 8.5-inch side will be to the side, and we will be cutting from the 11-inch side at 9 3/4. So the longer side will be cutting on from the longer side. So the base is 9 3/4 by 8.5. Now take out your scoreboard, and on that same 9 3/4 side, just like this, you're going to go ahead and score at 3 1/4 and 6.5. So you have the longer side on the actual score board, and you're going to score at 3 1/4 and 6.5. I'm just flipping it around so I can kind of double score on the other side too, just to reinforce it. You don't have to do this. We're going to score from the bottom. So turn your paper to the right one time, and from the bottom, or from that bottom side, you're going to score at 2 1/4 from that 8.5-inch side. And again, I'm just flipping it around to score on both sides just to kind of reinforce it. My paper has white core, so I just want to make sure I try to protect it as much as I can. So you're going to fold and then enforce or varnish each of those fold or score lines just to kind of get your template ready to go. So this is what your base is going to look like, just with those folds and score lines. Next, we're going to separate the pocket. So take out your scissors, and on each side of the score lines from the pocket, which is just that bottom little section, don't go past that score line at 2 1/4. You're going to take your scissors and just cut on either side of the score line. So it leaves just a small little sliver of a gap in between the two pockets. So again, you're going to cut to the left and to the right of each of those score lines, only up to the line. So this will help your folio fold a little easier. The same thing is what you'll do on the side. So just to make sure that it doesn't hit up against that fold, we're going to just take our paper trimmer and trim off about 1/16 of an inch off, just a little sliver from the right hand side. And this is so, again, when you fold your card, that right panel won't butt up against the inside of that card. So next, this is optional, but I enjoy doing notches on my pockets. I like the way that it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and notch my pockets using the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board. So the way that you do this is you align your mat right in the center of your flap for your pocket. Make sure you have even borders to both sides and make sure it's all the way to the top. And then go ahead and then notch both papers and the flap together at the same time. And that way they align perfectly. Then you just shift it down and it centers right in the middle of it. Make sure you do the same thing with the remaining pockets, but make sure you keep those papers in order so that way they don't get mixed up. So you have your 3 pockets ready to go. Now, I'm going to be using Barely Art wet glue. One warning that I can give you is do not glue your pockets down yet. They are not ready to go. You can, however, do what I'm doing here, which is glue the front mat, the paper that's going to go on the pocket. You can glue that down now. Just make sure you're gluing it in the center of the pocket of the flap, and make sure that you have a nice little border all the way around. But again, do not glue your pocket down. You have to glue your inner mats first because the pocket's going to cover it. So you have to glue that inside mat first before you can glue down this pocket, just as a warning. So I've glued down my covers. Now you see here, now I'm going to go ahead and pull out those 3 medium-sized mats, lay them in the pattern choice that I want, and then you can go ahead and glue them down, and then you can glue your pockets. So first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is just glue each of those inner panels right to the insides between the score lines, having an even border, and you are aligning to the very top. You see how I aligned it at the very, very top? You are going to have a big gap at the bottom. That's normal because it will be covered by that pocket. Remember, we trimmed off an extra inch so that it would give us more wiggle room inside the pocket, and it was going to be covered by the pocket, so we didn't need that extra paper there. So we just went ahead and glued all 3 inner panels. Now go ahead and test it out just in case. Try folding it. If you feel that it's still a little bit tight, go ahead and just take a little bit off of the pocket before you glue it down, and then just glue both sides, the left and the right, to glue the actual pocket down to your folio, your folio card. And I was calling it a folio card because it technically has little pockets, so you can store items in it. To me, that's what a folio is. I could be totally wrong on that, but this is just what I'm calling it. So we have our inner mats and our pockets ready to go. Now let's go ahead and glue the outer pockets. I'm going to start with the cover. So I was kind of going back and forth, but I did decide on this gorgeous kind of darker floral print. I think it's just stunning. So I went ahead and glued that one down, again, making sure you have an even border all the way around. Then you can go ahead and glue the remaining larger mats to the remaining two sides that you have. These are going to be full panels because these don't have pockets on them. So these were the pieces that were 3x6. And this is a great project to use up your 6x6 paper pads. If you didn't have any 6x6 paper pads, you could also use up a 12x12 sheet of paper. You basically would get one folio from one 12x12 sheet of paper. So now this one's ready to decorate. But before I do, I'm going to repeat this same process because with the second folio, because again, why make one when you can make two? Especially if I was going to be using a half of something, I figured I would just use a full 7 sheets and get 2 whole folio cards. So I'm just repeating the process with my pockets. Gonna glue in those inner mats. Super quick and easy. And then we'll go ahead and glue down those pockets. So if you're not familiar with this Crafty tutorial series that I do, I've done this a few months in a row now. I use this bi-monthly EcoPart kit to make some different crafty projects. Some months I make about 4 or 5 projects. There's been months where I bought a ton of extra items and I made way more projects than that. So I'm just using up my kit to give some inspiration on some different crafty projects you could do. So both folios are ready to decorate. I'm going to go ahead and put up my scraps, put my 6x6 paper pad back in the box, and I'm going to pull out some decorations. I'm going to be using a couple of tags from the ephemera pack, which was the frames and tags. I like the size of that larger tag, so I'm going to go ahead and take one out, and then I noticed there was a second one, so I took it out as well. And then I am taking out the sticker sheet, the cardstock stickers, because I figured I could do some additional decorating with it. I'm cutting down some twine to about 6 inches for each of those tags. So I just took out the little hole. I'm going to go ahead and put the ends together, pass it through the back from the back to the front, and then go ahead and put those 2 ends right through the hole one more time. Super quick and easy. And then this is optional. I like tying a little bow on my ends on my tags when I'm going to put them on a card, so that way they're not hanging off. So again, you put the ends together, pass it through the hole from the back to the front, and then go ahead and wrap those ends right back through that hole, and then you can tie a bow if you'd prefer. Again, totally optional. And then I just clip the ends of the string just to make it look a little bit neater. So I'm going to go ahead and glue them flat down to the front of my card because I want to keep this a little bit more flat. Because I do want it to fit in the envelope. So there's my first one. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue the second one down. Like I said, flat to the card, just so it can fit in the envelope. You don't have to do that. You could do it dimensional. There is the second one. So both of the fronts are now ready. Now the next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and decorate the inside. So one thing I noticed was there were 2 little trees that I thought would be perfect to fit in that one section. You can actually add an optional piece of white paper on the inside that's 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. This is a great little spot where you could stamp a sentiment or write a sentiment right there, you know, for whoever the recipient of the card, whoever you're going to give it to. I went ahead and added one of those Christmas trees. Now I'm just adding a little bitty sentiment sticker as well. And this little panel is ready to go. And now I'm going to just decorate the inside. So I'm just using a couple of cute little stickers just to decorate each of the pockets. I'm not going to worry about decorating the inner panels because I'll likely be covering them up with something else. So my first card folio card is ready to go. I'm going to do my second one really quick. So I'm going to just glue down that white panel, add my little tree sticker, add another little word sentiment, and this one's ready. And then I'll go ahead and finish by adding just a couple of little stickers to the inside to complete both of these folios. Super quick and easy project. Hope you enjoyed that. So again, this was the November 2021 EcoPart Club EP. Project number 1 was a Trifold mini slimline folio card that we made using the Happy Christmas collection by Cardabella. I will have some pictures, some close-up pictures on my Instagram, which is Party Planner Papery. And make sure you stay tuned for all the other crafty tutorials that are part of this series to use up this kit. Thanks for visiting, everyone. Hope you subscribe, like this video, follow me on Instagram, and as always, happy crafting.